this year, yeah, it's been a good year. It's been a busy year. Coming back into the program, having to take on a number of responsibilities, which has been exciting. It's great to be involved and seeing what the work that we do here, but to be able to shape it and guide it and help bring you guys into the program. Yeah, so but I think as a family we've settled in nicely, and we've in some ways it was like we never left. We came back and we knew where everything was. Things were in the same place. From the flying side, there's still the same tracks up to still the same places, which is makes it easy to settle back in.
How about you, George?
Yeah, I think we're really settled and really just at peace with being here. We definitely feel like we're in the right place where God has really called our hearts to be at this time. We feel really spiritually blessed just by others around us serving in the team and the Bible studies that we're both involved with, and we feel very blessed by the kids' school. It's a wonderful school, and living in Nhulunbuy we feel like is a really good fit for us at the moment. That it's a place where we can really sustainably grow as a family. It doesn't feel like we're surviving day to day, we're actually thriving. So we can see ourselves, really making this a home, and, we feel very settled and really committed to being here at the moment.
I think as I was saying to you earlier, Craig, one of the differences is actually we've chosen to come back here a second time. God has enabled us to come back, but we've chosen to come back. And so it's not we haven't come here with the mindset that we're going to come here, do a few years and move on to other locations. And Arnhem Land is a bit of a training ground for people to gain experience before going on and serving in other locations. But we've chosen to come back here. And that brings a different mindset with it. Different things we packed because we knew what we were coming to. Which actually, I think, like Georgie says, we're here, we've settled, we're happy to be here and we're looking to serve here.
I think that coming back, having been here and then gone away to other places, living in England, living in Tanzania and Africa, and then coming back, I think we could really appreciate the blessings that we have this time round. We could really see the ways that God had blessed us here that perhaps before we hadn't appreciated. Yeah.
I think also you would appreciate from ministry that when you come, that ministry is not perfect. It has its challenges in everyday life, and every day is a battle to live for Christ and to serve Christ. And I think you maybe have realistic expectations coming back. Yeah, coming back you have realistic expectations as to what ministry entails. So it's hard work and it's slow work. The first time up, you sometimes, think you're going to change
colour glasses,
and you're going to change the world
Yeah.
in a couple of years. But actually, no, ministry is slow, hard, gospel work.
Yeah. One step at a time.
One step at a time.
I think for me, something that God has really been teaching me since we came here is that being in a place of rest is only possible when it's in His rest, and when it's in His word, and when it's in His strength. And He's been really teaching me since we've been here that to try and do anything in my own strength, or even to try and rest in my own strength, is actually a bad place to be. It's not, I can't do it myself, and it's impossible for me to actually be in a place of rest without Him and His rest. And I've just been just so encouraged that each single day, every single day, I need to come back to Him and reset. Just every morning I need to reset and make sure that I'm at rest in God. He has won the salvation. He has, is sitting on His throne in glory. I don't need to actually do anything except trust Him and be faithful to Him. And that's been a real encouragement to me.
What sustains me? I mean, in short, it's the gospel. But what is the gospel? And there's a beautiful verse in Genesis when Joseph turns to his brothers and he says, "You meant to harm me, but God meant it for the good, for what is being achieved today, the saving of many people." And that's it. That God is sovereign. God has a plan, a perfect plan. That the brothers could not thwart God's plan. In fact, they, in their wickedness, fulfilled God's plan, and that's what happened with Christ, isn't it? That in their man's wickedness, and they nailed Jesus to the cross, they did not thwart God's plan, they fulfilled God's plan. They're just that God is sovereign, that no matter what happens, there's no surprises, that actually He is fulfilling out His plan now. He's fulfilled it ultimately in Christ. And we're just the tools. We just make ourselves available to be used by God for His glory. It's His work. We're just the tools. And the analogy is the plane's our tool, isn't it? But actually, we are God's tools. He's the carpenter. And when a carpenter does a piece of work, it's right that the carpenter gets the praise, not the tools. We're just the tools.
Thank you.
And also I think it's having the confidence to just trust Him that He will bear fruit in His own time. And we may never see any hint of any fruit at all while we're here. But that's not the issue. That's not the thing we need to chase after, is the seeing the fruit. We just need to be faithful. And He will bring the fruit when is the right time.
I think it's a great comfort as well, that because if God is sovereign and it is His work, we're never in the wrong place at the wrong time, no matter what might be thrown at us. Actually, we're always in the right place at the right time. And sometimes you have to remind yourself of that. But when you know that's true, it's an awesome place to be. If I was to encourage anyone into mission work, mission starts at home. Mission starts where you are. Don't think that you're suddenly going to go into mission work and then you're going to be doing mission. Actually, if you're working in an office, mission starts there. And then look for opportunities to do mission where you are and what you're doing, to serve in the church, speak to your church elders and leadership about that. Look for opportunities to maybe get involved in mission slightly further afield. Visit missionaries, be in contact with them as the realisms of mission life. Experience it if you can.
We went on a number of short-term mission trips in different places in the world before committing to go full-time permanently with MAF. So we had a really good idea of what was, and just to have a really realistic view of what it was going to be like. I think one of the biggest disappointments maybe for people as they come into mission is the realization that actually the organisation is flawed and the people in the organisation are flawed, and there are going to be squabbles and there are going to be sinful acts towards one another that are really unhelpful within the organisation and within the mission, because although everybody's striving to serve God, we're still sinners, and no mission organisation is perfect, and that can be a really big slap in the face unless you have a grounded expectation of what a mission organisation is going to be like, because it's not going to be like heaven on earth. Everyone's serving God and seeking to serve God, but we're still sinful, and so sadly it's just not going to be perfect at this point. So I think that can be a really big discouragement to people unless they've actually thought about it quite carefully about the reality of that. So MAF believe very strongly in enabling people to stay in the homelands by supporting them in being there, by providing them with access to medical care and education, and just enabling them to live there in a way that is even healthier, because they can do their traditional hunting and their traditional medicines, but also, if need be, they can have a nurse come out and do vaccinations for their kids, or if a mother's going into labour, then a midwife can be flown out to assist her, which which is really helpful to them. So it means that they can stay in the homelands and be at their most physically healthy, which means that they're at the most spiritually open for receiving the gospel.
Yeah, in the homelands is their traditional home. It's where they've lived. Whereas in the communities, they're often living on other clans' lands, and that often leads to a lot of conflict as well as the issues that Georgie said. But there's also a sense of disenfranchisement because they're not living on their land. They feel at the whim of whatever government policy is in place at the time. Whereas in the homeland, there's a lot more traditional society with an elder, and they are a lot more receptive to the gospel. I had a flight the other day out to a place called Bremer Island, and I was chatting to one of the people there, and he was just saying, "We want you to come into the homelands more because it's where we have the time to sit and listen to what you tell us."